Bros. 3 is one of my favorite games ever made, just behind Super Mario World, Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, and VVVVVV. Wait a second, I've already used that intro. Anyways, Super Mario Bros. 3's worlds are pretty generic. Like, they're not bad, just not that original. There are some exceptions, however, such as World 4, which is themed after giant objects. However, the most unique world in the game is not that. That honor goes to World 7, aka Pipeland. Welcome to another episode of my level analysis series. This time we'll be using a slightly different structure than the last two episodes. By the way, thanks for all the support on the last one, it means a lot. The pilot failed horribly. The layouts and aesthetic sections will still be there, but instead of some lame highlights, we'll be using a tier list again, specifically to rank all the levels in this world. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe or else I'll be mad, and let's jump right into the layout. World 7 is basically an archipelago of 12 islands, and you can travel the archipelago via a pipe or swimming. Anyways, you first spawn on the northwesternmost island, and there are two pipes. One to the right, which takes you to, okay, it's an inaccessible area, fantastic stuff, and one down the bottom. You need to finish the first level to access this one. Entering this pipe takes us to an island in the south, which has three pipes. The top right one leads to a smaller island with the Toad House. After finishing the second level, you can enter the bottom right pipe and move on to the next island. Here you can finish the third level, and then we are faced with a split path. Going to the left takes us to a one-up game in the fourth level. Then you can enter another pipe to another island. And going to the right takes us to the fifth level in the Toad House. Also, what is the point of this pipe if it doesn't take you anywhere? Anyways, entering the left pipe takes us to the level's first tower, which is absolutely rubbish, but we'll get to that later. Going to the left, however, takes us to a special level with piranha plants and munchers. There's also a pipe that takes us to another inaccessible area. Awesome. Speaking of, after we finish the first tower, the first inaccessible area is no longer inaccessible. But I mean, what's the point? It only takes you backwards. Either way, after the tower, we have another one-up game, and of course, the sixth level. Going into the next pipe takes us to the easternmost islands in the archipelago. Here you can choose between level 7 or 8. There's also another Toad House and a one-up game here. After finishing the ninth level, we can go to the second tower. Beating it unlocks the final path that was previously inaccessible. After one last piranha plant level, it's finally time for the airship level. But how about the aesthetic? Each island here is colored green, which makes sense since most islands in real life are green. However, there are also these green piranha plants scattered around the archipelago. Mario can't interact with them as they're just decoration, but it makes this world look really nice, because World 7 is all about pipes, and piranha plants come out of pipes in Mario games. But now it's time for the longest section of this video, the level tier list. World 7 has 12 levels, 14 if you count the plant ones. This tier list will be ordered from S to F. S is for the best levels, while F is for the rubbish ones. We'll get to that in a minute. Starting off, we of course have the first level in World 7, 7-1. You start in an outdoor area and have to enter a door to the right. After jumping on some mini pipe platforms, you make it to the level's first real obstacle, which is basically clearing out a bunch of piranha plants to make it up the pipe. You can use a Koopa on one of the platforms below to clear them out. After going up some more pipes, you are faced with two routes. The first one is a platforming section where you get to jump off some pipes with piranha plants before making it up another pipe. However, the alternate route involves you having to run so you can get enough speed to fly with the Tanuki suit. If you fly to the left, you can collect about 30 coins in the small room before going up the pipe. Here you just need to kill a pair of Koopas and then go up the pipe to finish the level. However, you can also run to get enough speed to fly with the Tanuki suit. I think this level was decent. I like the idea of a pipe tower and there were some cool shortcuts near the end. Definitely an A tier. 7-2 is up next, and let me just start off by saying that this level is very orange. Orange is my favorite color. You start off in a desert themed area, you can only go to the right. After avoiding a nipper plant and jumping off a pipe, second pipe is one that you can actually enter. This will take you to an underwater area. There are 4 pipe entrances in this level. If you swim all the way to the left, you will find a P switch you can hit to turn all the bricks into coins. Continuing on with the level, you are faced with a puzzle. You basically fall into this pit, but every time you try to escape, a note block appears. What you have to do is enter the pipe to the left, then enter the pipe to the left of the first pipe, and you will be freed from the trap. I think that's a nice puzzle. Or you could just fly over everything with the Tanuki suit. There's also a hidden room where you can get a fire flower, however, it's thankfully not underwater. After jumping a few more pipes, the level comes to an end. I like this one. The trap puzzle was cool, and the level was solid. If I had to give one criticism, it's that the level takes place in the desert and not the grassland. Other than that, a solid A tier. Next up is 7-3. Thankfully, they fixed up the aesthetic on this one, and it's an actual grassland instead of the randomly out-of-place desert that is 7-2. You begin with you having to slide down a large hill. Sliding down these is always satisfying, especially when there's enemies on it. After doing it 2 more times, we're faced with a lack of 2. These are always kind of annoying because sometimes they throw too many spinies. However, I wouldn't say this one is that big of a threat. Here you can also find a P switch that when hit, reveals 8 blue coins. Then it's back to some slightly smaller hills before finally making it to the end. However, the best part of this level is chaining several stars together. You see, at the beginning, you may have noticed a question block. Hitting it will reveal a star. The fun part is that if you have the star, certain blocks in the level will also have stars. It's really fun chaining the star power together so that it doesn't run out. And while it makes the level really easy, it's still extremely satisfying. Definitely a high C tier. I don't want to put it too high because it feels too short and sweet. But I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. Space Station 1 from VVVV is kind of similar to this level in some ways, and it's one of my favorite levels ever made. Damn it, I spoiled a definitely real VVV level analysis episode. 7-4 is next, and honestly, this level is complete rubbish. You begin outside as always, but it all falls apart when you enter the pipe. That's because this level is an underwater auto-scroller. What a fantastic combination. Anyways, you have to first swim through a bunch of white donut structures while avoiding various fish. After that, the auto-scroll goes in a diagonal direction, which I guess is a nice change of pace. Well, it's not nice, but you know what I mean. After dodging a bunch of jellyfish, you are back to ground level. From here, you just have to swim through a bunch more of those donut structures while avoiding some more fish. After entering the pipe, the level comes to an end. This was just a really boring level. However, there is a cool bit at the beginning that I wanted to mention. In the ground area before you go into the water, you can actually fly over the wall and collect a pair of 1-ups. This is fairly easy to do, but it's a nice change of pace. Overall, I think this level deserves a D tier. The only thing stopping it from me and F is that you can fly over the wall at the beginning. After 7-4 is well 7-5. You begin by yet again having to enter a pipe. That takes you to a room with 2 green paratroopers. After those, you enter a room with 2 platforms with 2 red cubas on them. Then you enter a corridor area with 6 pipes. You want to go through the 4th one to continue on with the level. Then you have to go through another pipe where you end up in another room with 3 green paratroopers. However, you can actually completely skip that if you have a Tanuki suit, because if you break this brick, you can actually make your way to the next room. Either way, you then have to enter the bottom pipe all the way to the end to make a bridge for you to cross. Then you have to form another bridge to make it to the pipe. However, what if I told you that you don't have to do any of that and you can use the Tanuki suit again to fly your way past those gaps? After entering one last pipe, the level comes to a close. I really like the shortcut implementation in this level. It encourages speedrunning while also being fun to take on a normal playthrough. So for that, I think this level deserves to be placed in C tier along with 7-3. Okay, we were about to reach a horrible level at one point. This is 7th Tower and it is one of the worst levels in the entire Mario series. I already made a video explaining why I hate it at the beginning of summer, but that video was rubbish, so let me explain it better this time. You begin in a room filled with bricks. There's not much to really do here other than to enter a door to the right so you can move on. That puts us in a massive hallway with a few objects, such as this boost stretch, and these weird defunct waffle structure things. I don't know. To the left of the hallway is nothing very interesting, and to the right is another door. This takes us to another room with some question blocks and the pipe that doesn't do anything. So it's basically another dead end. Where do we go now? Well, what you have to do is go back into the starting room with all the bricks and break the ones in the middle to reveal a P-switch. Hitting it not only turns every brick in the room into coins, but it also spawns 2 doors. One at the top of this platform and one at the bottom. The bottom one leads to a hallway, so it's rubbish, but the top one leads to yet another room with 2 pipes. The first one leads to some kind of bonus room with the Tanuki suit, and the other takes us to... Why are we back here again? So yeah, even the P-switch is completely pointless. What you actually have to do is randomly fly all the way up to the hallway ceiling until you find a pipe. What the actual frick? After entering the pipe, you just have to defeat Boom Boom, and then you can finish the level. This is just exceptionally terrible in terms of level design. The fact that there is no indication of the pipe here is atrocious, and you just have to pray and guess that you're actually close to the pipe. Easy F tier. I cannot stand this atrocity of level. Thankfully, 7-6 is a lot better and much more creative. This one has you start like every other level before it by entering a door. That puts us in a staircase area where you have to go up. After this, you are introduced to a new platform, which is basically this one that changes direction whenever you jump on it. Here you can use it to navigate all the obstacles, however I also like the alternate option of just doing some classic platforming. Then you reach a platform that only goes up, for making it to one that just moves left, and you have to use the 2 to enter a pipe. Or you could just jump to the pipe from the first platform. It can be kind of tricky to do, but it is possible. Then you have to go on another platform that changes direction when you jump on it. After avoiding some spikes, you are then forced to use a combination of platforms that move left, right, and up to navigate the following section, before using the platform that moves in all directions again to navigate a pair of pipes with piranha plants coming out of them. After that, you make it to another pipe and the level comes to an end. I must be honest, this was actually great. I love how he uses these platforms for some creative puzzles that actually require some thinking. So for its ingenious creativity, I think we have our first S tier on our list. Definitely a really solid level. 7-7, however, is where things start going wrong again. You begin by entering a pipe, taking you to the next area. After jumping up a few pipes, you hit a question block to get a star. This is where the level starts to fall apart. Literally the entire time you're just either running on munchers or collecting stars so that you don't run out of star power. Anyways, after running on munchers for a bit, you then have to jump through a few pipes, kind of like Flappy Bird. After getting another star, going under a pipe, and then entering another pipe, the level finally comes to a close. I think this was just a really dull and uninspired idea. At least 7-3 made the stars optional, but here you have to use them no matter what. This honestly deserves a D tier, not an F since sometimes the timing on the stars can be kind of strict. Next up is of course 7-8. You begin by having to do some platforming on some pipes while avoiding piranha plants. Then after making it through a pipe staircase, you have to do some more platforming before crossing a bridge. After a few more jumps, the level comes to a close. I like how this level uses different kinds of piranha plants to make for an interesting challenge. This level also features a few secrets such as these question mark blocks above these pipes, a coin heaven area, and also this 10 coin block above a tall pipe. However, my favorite secret is definitely the last one. In the middle of the level, you'll find a pipe. However, you may notice it doesn't have a piranha plant. So you decide to enter it, and it puts you in a secret room with a staircase and a giant question mark block. Hitting this block will reveal a hammer suit. This is one of the rarest power-ups in the game, and it basically turns Mario into a hammer bro. You can throw hammers just like one, and you can use it to wipe out several enemies, including Thwomps. This is a really great power-up, and the fact that this level has it in a secret room gives it a big boost. So for that, I think this level deserves an A tier. I'm so happy they actually decided to include this power-up in the level. 7-9 is up. You begin in another desert area for some reason. What is it with these people placing desert levels in grass worlds? Anyways, going to the right reveals a giant maze structure. Yeah, this level is a maze which I'm not really a fan of. You have to make your way up these cracks and then destroy a pair of walls made of these blue bricks you can pick up and throw. After exiting the maze for a bit, you then have to go back in the maze by breaking a few brick walls here. After walking through a long corridor, you have to break another pair of brick walls before using these hard blocks to go up. After a few more walls, you can enter the pipe and the level comes to an end. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of this one. The brick walls kind of feel like a nuisance, and walking around the maze is not very fun. I'm feeling a D tier for this one. How about you? Now it's time for the penultimate level, 7 Tower 2. And honestly, this level is a million times better than the first tower level. You begin by having to do some platforming on some pipes. Then you have to dodge a thwomp before having to squeeze in between two pipes with the piranha plants. After some platforming, you come to the level's second thwomp. After that, you need to enter a pipe, taking you to a sub-area. Here you have to dodge some waffles, some dry bones, and a thwomp. After all that, you just have to face off Boom Boom, which is not really special. He will, however, throw a tantrum after jumping on him. Once he is defeated, the level can come to an end. This is just a really fun platforming challenge in my opinion. While the level does kind of feel on the shorter side, it still is really fun. This is basically what the previous tower level should have been. I don't know who at Nintendo's headquarters thought that would be a fun idea. But honestly, I think we have another S tier on our hands, even though it feels a little short. But now, the time has come for the final level of World 7, Airship. You begin in a king's room where the toad is panicking due to the king being transformed into a piranha plant, and you must find the magic wand to change him back. After the quick cutscene, the level begins. The level is shown to be an auto-scroller, but so is pretty much every other airship in the game, so no surprise there. Anyways, I also really like the sign color of the airships here. Our first obstacle has us dodging a pair of burners by jumping on this ledge platform. However, I usually don't take it because it's kind of slow. Then you have to do it again, but this time with an even longer track. Again, I usually don't take it. Then you face a pair of rocky wrenches before crouching under a wall. After some platforming, you finally enter the level's pipe, leading you to the boss, Ludwig. He'll shoot magic spells and stun you. To defeat him, you just have to jump on him 3 times, and then you can pick up the magic wand. After Mario falls from the sky, the king is back to his normal self. Also, why is he a Viking? After that, it's off to World 8, the final world in the game. This level was really just okay. The platforming is fine, the aesthetic is fine, the story, okay, the story doesn't matter. But my point is that the level is kind of mid. Really, it's just the auto-scroll bringing it down. Had they removed it, I would have liked this level more. I think this is a high D tier. Not rubbish, but just not good enough. So with all that being said, where does World 7 belong in the Super Mario Bros. 3 level analysis tier list? Well, it has a really unique theme of pipes and piranha plants, however the levels were kind of mixed. There are some levels with really cool creative ideas, however there were also some stinkers along the way. Had those been removed, this would easily be an S tier, but honestly, I think an A tier is just the right spot for this world. It has some creative levels with fun ideas, but some were just complete rubbish. So for that, I think World 7 of Super Mario Bros. 3, aka Pipeland, deserves an A tier in the Super Mario Bros. 3 level analysis tier list. But anyways, that's it for this video. Is the second flat level your favorite level in the game and hate me for not mentioning it? Let me know in the comments. Sorry for not uploading last month, I just thought the idea I had wouldn't be very interesting. Also, thank you so much for the support on the last videos. 500 views isn't much, but at least we're getting somewhere. I also want to apologize if the audio is a bit on the sloppier side. I just hate recording audio for videos, and I'm really on a deadline here, so I don't quite have time to polish this one. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!